Peace, peace, peace. Shout out to everybody out there in YouTube world. Welcome. It's the Nerve of You podcast. Man, y'all know what's up, man. We got some good conversation tonight. We got some real good topics. And, we came to chop it up, man. Y'all see the thumbnail for the Sunday night. And, man, shout out to the Dime Game Division. Shout out to everybody watching. Um, and we got a little technical difficulties, people. Hold on 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. Should have been handled beforehand. But it's all good. Anyway, y'all see the thumbnail, ladies and gentlemen. We gonna go ahead and rock and roll. And the question today is, well, it was actually a two-part podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's a two-part podcast. Do black women, right? Do women in general, black women in particular, do black women regret the men that they ignored? This is a heavy conversation in a lot of circles. And a lot of people just don't say it like that. But, I really think it's a legitimate question. Because maybe it can help some people. And the next question in the title is, do all men cheat? Who are the cheaters? Who are the guys that are monogamous? Can a man go the rest of his life sleeping with just one woman? It's a very tough thing to do. So anyway, let's chop it up, man. We're going to start off with the first part of the podcast. Do women regret the men that they ignored? You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
We live right now. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just making sure. So, let's get to the podcast. What you think about the question?
I think they do regret the
Can you
men.
talk up a little louder?
Yeah, I think women, we do regret the good men or the men that we ignore, especially if we don't find anybody that's better, or we're not in a successful relationship. We'll think back and be like, okay, maybe I should have gave him a chance. Maybe I should have did things differently. So.
Well, you said a couple things in your opening statement. Now, you said the good men. Well, are all men that women ignore good men? And, is this something that women notice over time when they see the finished product of a man? Or is this something that a woman may see out the gate and still ignore that quote-unquote good man? Because my thing is this. You know a good tree by the fruit that it bears, right?
Right.
But I say that to say, if the tree ain't producing fruit at that time, how would you know? So if a man is accomplished in his life, if his character is good, is he financially sound? Is he big on commitment? Typically these things play out in time.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to just meet somebody like, hey, how you doing? And you just know that they're just good people. You can go with your intuition.
Right.
You can go with your vibes. You can go with people around you say, but nothing is guaranteed in life, right? Nothing is 100%. So my thing is, how do women know if the guys that y'all ignored or overlooked or just passed over, whatever word you want to use, were quote unquote good guys?
Actually, we don't know. A term that Nicole Michelle uses, looking for a competent man versus a good man. So I think we assume that they're good, but I do think that I kind of misspoke when I said a good man, because I don't know if a man is good meeting him. If he gets my number, I don't know anything about him. So you're right. yeah, I just
But on the flip side, let's talk about a quote unquote bad man. See, some things is written on the wall, right? You know what I mean? Bad men, toxic women. You know, sometimes you just know off top, like when you roll up on them, like this is a piece of work. You
mhm,
already know. You feel the energy.
mhm,
You know, you see the posture. You hear the lingo.
mhm,
But a lot of times it don't be like that. A lot of times with people, what I notice is that plays out in time too. I mean, nobody's introducing themselves. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? My name is C Boogie. I'm a piece of crap. You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't doing that. What they doing is they're waiting. Excuse me, y'all. They're waiting for somebody to fall for them or for
mm,
somebody to give them their heart.
mhm,
And then this is when people tend to drop the hammer. And this is why, you know, a lot of people these days, they using manipulation tactics and all of this to get what they want from the opposite sex,
right,
which is really sullying the game out here because it's creating a lot of damaged people. But at the end of the day, a lot of times it don't start out like that. You see what I'm saying? Because somebody that look good on paper, and this go for women and men, right? Somebody that look good on paper is not always good in a relationship. And you know, I think a lot of dudes online, a lot of cats online, they may, you know, I'm talking about the guys that are complaining and the guys that just grew a major disdain for women, black women in particular, for guys that's going their own way. They just done
mhm,
with women. A lot of dudes look good on paper, but it don't mean that they good in a relationship. They may not have patience. They may not,
mm,
um, you know, see past their own, you know, pleasures. They might be on some hedonistic stuff. They may not be righteous. They may not believe in, you know, God. They, you know, they may, you know, communication problems and whatever the case is. They may need some major self improvement. They may have unresolved trauma that they still need to deal with the right way. So my thing is, you know, the same thing what I said about a good person rather,
mhm,
that it plays out in time. In many cases, for a bad person, you know, it plays out in time because if as a woman you only looking at a man on paper, right?
mhm,
Boom, he got this career, he graduated from this school, he
mhm,
might be in a fraternity, car, house, da 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 da. But over time, you realize, like, damn, this dude is ratchet as hell or savage as hell. Like he worse than Pookie in the hood.
you're right.
You see what I'm saying? So speak on that for a minute because, you know, there needs to be some clear distinctions in who's good or who's bad because just because you're a quote unquote high value dude don't mean that you in sync and can get along with a woman. Period.
True, you're spot on with that because
Apple
a
top.
lot of a lot of times that we we tend to go for the guys that are good on paper, but then we realize they're lacking in the fundamental values you just mentioned, um, and I think that's a problem. I think we should probably focus on the fundamental
Break
values,
down the fundamental values.
the fundamental
Fundamental.
fundamental
We both
yeah,
jacked
these
that up.
words
Fundamental.
fundamental values, and in a man, in a relationship, a person that is, you know, good with a relationship with the opposite sex, they will have a great level of communicating how they feel, a good uh, understanding of they have a high what is it called, emotional EQ,
IQ.
EQ, emotional EQ. Um, they will. What else? They pay attention to everything, and they're consistent, and they're
Considerate.
honest. They're considerate. They're honest. They tell the truth even when they don't want to. Um, they. What else? They're kind, but not nice. Is the difference. Um, Considerate, like you said. they're a man of their word, a woman of their word.
Well, let me stop you right there. Now that's big time, right?
Hmm. And they value commitment. I just had to throw that in
I
there.
see.
Yeah,
I
they
see.
finish what they start.
Indeed. So, the valuing of the word. Let me go back to a podcast that I did a while back. I did a podcast on my channel. Y'all check my Patreon. Matter of fact, let me go to Reset the Room.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to everybody that is joining us right now. You know, the Nerve of You podcast. We like episode 19. I really stopped counting, so I'm guessing at this point. We like 19 or whatever.
We on a roll.
Definitely on the roll.
Thank you guys.
Shout out to everybody that's joining us. On your way in, please hit the like button. We are live, people. Let's get this thing in the algorithm and let's run it up on a Sunday night for y'all. We're going to have some good conversation and good dialogue. So, I did a podcast a while back. Y'all check my Patreon. It was with a Middle Eastern woman called Mishkan. And, you know, she was very well-spoken, educated. She come from, her family's from Afghanistan. She's from Afghanistan. And, you know, very patriarchal, you know what I mean, type of community and whatnot. But I remember we was on a podcast and she was explaining how she turned down a doctor. You know, she turned down a proposal from a doctor because at the end of the day, I'm sure it was other things, but the main thing was the doctor didn't keep his word. And you got to understand, in her culture, Middle Eastern culture, Muslim culture, that's huge. That's everything. Like, and she come from a long line of men that taught her that. Like, look, and she's a, you know, you've seen the podcast. She's a beautiful woman.
She's amazing.
She never going to have a problem meeting another doctor, lawyer, high value man. That's not the case. But her biggest thing was character, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was very profound because you got a lot of dudes online. They like, well, I look good on paper. Screw the rest of my character flaws. Now, I don't agree with that either. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it either is or it ain't. You a good dude or you ain't. You know what I'm saying? You gonna take care and handle your business and stand on principle or you not. Period. That's my thing.
Right.
I don't give a damn if you're a doctor, lawyer, engineer. I don't care if you're a plastic surgeon, porno star. I don't care if you work at the Piggly Wiggly stacking cans. All work is dignified work when you get a paycheck. My thing is, you a man of character or you ain't, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. So when dudes start throwing around their titles and throwing around what they got on paper, I'm like, look, dog. You know, I get that. I know street dudes with bankrolls too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it just come down to the money.
Right.
My thing is, who are you in your heart? Period.
Who are you when nobody's looking?
Integrity. Bam.
How do you feel? How do you treat others others may perceive less than you? And
facts.
Yeah.
How do you treat the most menial person?
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? How do you treat the waitress or the waiter?
Yeah.
Do you even leave a tip? Or how you treat a homeless person? It's very.
How you treat a woman that you're not attracted to, or a person that you don't find attractive at all.
Well, we're going to get into that. Well, let's go back to the topic of the live stream. Do women, we talking about black women, but do women in general regret the men that they have ignored in their life? Now, what is the criteria of a woman even regretting a man that she passed over? What do a woman have to see and be like, damn, I jacked this up with old buddy?
Oh, the number one thing is probably if he got married. Like,
number one,
commitment. If he's showing that he got married to a woman, like, really not fast, but he was just a serious man, serious about commitment, and she probably had 3 boyfriends after she met him, and it all ended like not so good. I think she'll be like, damn, maybe I could have been that woman.
But okay, here's my thing. That's fine and dandy and all, but who's to say that that man would have married you? See, what if he married that woman because
of that woman?
of the woman that she is. Who's to say that you as a woman had those qualities to even get that man to commit? So, I understand what you're saying, but I just want to propose a counter argument as well.
The way our ego is set up as human beings, so to mine, I know the way mine is, my pride, I guess. I don't have an ego, I got pride. I would feel like, okay, if she could do it, I can. I wouldn't even think. I'm not even thinking like, okay, it's something about her that's so special in his eyes and in his heart. I'm not even thinking like that. I'm thinking, okay, he did that for her, and these other men that I chose, they didn't do that. So
okay, so number one is commitment. Yeah. What else do a woman have to see from a man?
Ooh, if he like really got, if he got more successful than when yeah, like if he got more successful than when we saw him. A lot of times people, when we meet people in certain time periods of our lives, and then they done upgraded, you're like, oh, okay. But you try to reach out to them.
Let me propose another counter argument. Now, if a man, let's say you meet a man and he's down on his luck for whatever reason. Life comes in cycles and seasons. You're going to have good seasons, you're going to have bad seasons in life. What if a man is in a bad season for whatever reason and you meet him then? My thing is, at that point, yeah, he may have had potential, but you wasn't supposed to see the success at that time because it wasn't tangible. Because a lot of people tell us what they used to be. You know what I mean? And those are some of my least favorite people in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Used to be N-words.
Like they used to be Negroes?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of them. Hey, I used to do this, I used to do that. And look, man, that's cool. I like to tell stories myself, but, Janet Jackson had a song, "What have you done for me lately?" Ooh, yeah. So anyway, boom. You know what I mean? So we got that. So, or let me give you another example. Like you can have an example of a man or a woman that's crazy out of shape. You know what I mean? Whatever reason, they blew up. They blew up like the Goodyear blimp. And 18 months down the road, they got their fitness on, they got their diet on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got their keto diet on. You know what I'm saying? And they done dropped weight and they looking good. But I wasn't supposed to notice you at your worst. You see what I'm saying? I wasn't supposed to mistreat you, but clearly we respect people at their best. That's just how it is. I wasn't supposed to notice you when your confidence was low because you gained 75 pounds. I wasn't supposed to notice you when you was walking with your head down, being unassuming. I wasn't supposed to notice you when you ain't had that glow and that light and that confidence because you're strutting now. You're strutting. Strut. You walk that walk. Ooh. And see, everybody know that walk. You know what I mean? And you speaking the lingo, but my thing is, for a lot of people, you got to be sensible too. Like, I tell guys this all the time. Like, look, dog, a woman ain't supposed to notice you when, for one, you ain't got no bait or the wrong bait. That's who goes to the fishing hole with the wrong bait or no bait. I mean,
right.
I mean, you pretty much praying that the fish jump into your cooler. Right. You know what I'm saying? You praying that the fish just happen to oops and they lip get stuck on the line. You ain't got no bait. So, you know what I mean? That's one thing. And two, I'm like, look, dog, you gotta be sensible out here as well. For one, would you want a woman that's down on her luck? Probably not. You want a woman that's strutting. Right. You know what I'm saying? She walking that walk. Would you tell your daughters to get with a man that's down on his luck? Probably not.
No, we want winners.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody want a winner. Everybody wants somebody that they can win with. And not just that, because it's a small probability that you can win with somebody, but when you really find that person, they gonna make sure you win because they strutting. You like, oh shit. And that's undeniable, but that's number two, you know what I mean? Do you got a bankroll, success? Give me another thing that a woman may notice with a man, that she may be like, damn, man, you know what I'm saying? I really jacked this up with old buddy.
If she was speaking with him for a short period of time and she got to learn some things about him, like he was a kind man to her, and she met another man and he wasn't as kind, but he checked other boxes that he had, and I think she'll probably look back and reflect on, damn, he was kind to me, like he really did like me.
But this
probably,
is
yeah,
because I'm just offering a counter argument. I'm not being, you know, a dickhead. I'm just offering a counter argument and being the devil's advocate. Now, but as a woman, you don't even know a good man until you came across a savage, right? You don't know, hold on, you don't know a Russell Wilson until you laid up in the bed with Future and did all that crap.
We don't really know a good man until we sleep with him.
What? What's the logic? You throwing off my whole live stream.
The logic, the logic is.
Yeah, I mean,
the
press
logic
one if
is
she throwing this
everybody.
off.
No, the logic is everybody's nice to you before you sleep with them.
Okay.
Everybody's kind to you.
Okay, now you got a little logic. Okay.
Yeah, every man is nice to you before he gets what he wants.
Oh, before he get the ton.
Right,
Okay, now
yeah,
okay, I get
that's
it now.
what I'm saying.
Before he get the ton.
Yeah. So it's kind of like hard to like judge it on that. You'll really know what he wants you for, or you know, because you know there's two places where there's a sex for somebody said a sex marriage bucket or a sex other bucket, and we need to realize which bucket we having sex in, if that makes sense, really quickly as women.
Okay. I think you might have lost me a little bit in the end, but I'm following the logic. We don't know a person until, I mean, that happens, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I've slept with women and the vibe was good until we slept with each other, and then it was awkward, or the sexual chemistry just wasn't there. And I mean, I'm sorry, if you're not gonna have at least decent sex out the gate, then there's no need to move forward. You know, you give it a couple tries, ride that bike a little bit, and then if it's just not working, because you know, sex, like anything else, can be taught, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and we talking, because we're talking on a mature level now. We're not talking to children right now, right?
Right.
So, sex, like riding a bike, like driving a car, like you know, learning to cook your favorite dish, it could be taught. Sex is not natural. It's not natural. You know what I mean? We all had to learn how to, you know what I mean? Get your boy something right there. So, but at the end of the day, if there's a little bit of synergy and chemistry there, you know what I mean, the first couple times you sleep with somebody, boom, you can build on that, because y'all can teach each other what y'all like. Y'all can experiment on things. Y'all can be honest with each other and be like, look, I ain't really into that, but I'm heavy into this. You see what I'm saying? And it becomes fluid after a while because y'all learning each other. So, you know, but if it was just dry, like you ever had something and it was dry, like real, like 100, it was just totally dry, and you knew, like, I can't teach that thing. Mm-hmm. See, if a person got that thing, but let's say you wasn't a big fan of his stroke game, you can tell a dude, like, look, I like it from the back, whatever. But at the end of the day, if they ain't got that thing, it's hard to teach that grizzly. You know what I mean? That,
You know what's so funny? I have a weird way of looking at that, because, and I came up with this on my own. I was like, okay, you see how, like, when you go on when a man takes us out on a date, right? And they go all out and they take us to like a 5-star restaurant, and because they're trying to impress us as women, right? And he pulls out all the bells and whistles on trying to give us the romance, right? That's his job, right? To be honest, like, I think that is kind of a woman's job to kind of not pull out all the stops sexually, but I'm saying to make it an experience. Like, I know the majority of people think that it's a man's like.
I disagree.
You don't think so?
I disagree. Me as a man, this is my thought process. You know, if I offer to take, excuse me, pardon me, if I offer to take you on a date, right,
Mm-hmm.
as a man, from the time I pick you up or we meet there, however we rendezvous, you know, the clock is on. I inherently know this because I know, for one, you got 4 or 5 different dudes in your texting you, talking about what you're doing tonight. So I'm already in competition with that. And then 2, you already looking at me kind of side eye as a man, like, what are you on? You know what I mean? So boom, I'm on. You know what I mean? I know for a fact I can't just go on a date with you. I got to give you an experience because I need to separate myself from the rest of the cats because they should be on their A game. It's like anything else in life. It is a competition.
But on the other end, I do think that that's what a woman is thinking. You could have slept with someone else. Like
I mean, facts.
I think that we are supposed to bring in that it's not just sex. We kind of like make it a experience of, you know, the lingerie. Like that should be our game. Like that should be our way of luring a man in and falling in love with us sexually, if that makes sense. Like your game is taking us on a really nice, you know, experience, 5-star restaurant or whatever. But people think that it's a man's, you know, it's a man's, it's his job of having sex. Like it's all on him. I don't
expect a woman to lead me in a bedroom. Especially if I don't know her like that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying after you first have sex, yeah, of course you're gonna be the aggressor, right? But if we make it like, okay, you're my man and I'm your woman, I think a woman should be more making it more of an experience.
I mean, of course. I mean,
that's what it's kind of flipped a little bit.
Yeah, like that goes without saying, though. I mean,
it's not always all on him to perform.
I mean, right. That goes without saying. But hold on, appreciate that super chat, enjoying the convo, fam. Preach. Shout out my boy, new fat boy, fitness. I understand what you're saying. You know, to me, it just goes without saying. You know, at the end of the day, a man performance is not even really. It's not even really dictated by the women all the time. A man is working against his last performance. You know what I'm saying? A man is really working against himself. So, you know.
No pillow princess.
Again.
I agree with her. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we got egos. Like, a man knows when he didn't give his best performance in the bedroom. And then, you know, he want to come back and top that. So, even if a woman never said nothing, a man is always in his mind, like, damn, man, you know what I'm saying? I could have did this better.
Yeah.
Or I could have did that better.
And I'm saying that we should alleviate that stress on you and be like, I'm just showing you my gratitude on how well you're treating me, on how you are to me. Like I just want to give you me in a very special way. It's not just sex. It's not just normal.
How many people? Let me ask you a question. I mean, how many people are even thinking? How many women? For one, let's keep it a buck. Women have weaponized sex. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's hard to give a percentile, but I'm sure there's a very small percent of women that's even thinking like that for her man. Women are off the top trying to rationalize the sex for men, trying to baby teaspoon feed them the sex. A lot of the freaky things a lot of women know that her man may like, she might not even do it with him. Now, she did these freaky things with the guy she was sleeping with, but if she got to be with a dude for a prolonged period of time, a lot of women, they'll take that off the table because for whatever reason, they understand, you know, if I start this, I got to keep it up. So sex has been weaponized by a lot of women because they online, they getting this crap of what they call game from women, right? A lot of these women are single, or single mothers, or whatever the case. You know, Future's 27th baby mother. At the end of the day, it's been weaponized, and a lot of women, they're not even on that level where they want to make it a sacred exchange. They want to make it special for their man. I mean, some women do, but a lot of women be like, look, I'm going to go ahead and ranch, I'm going to give them a little bit, da-da-da-da. I'm going to let them taste it, but I ain't going to open all the way up. So, you know, we got to look at that as well.
Yeah.
And that really goes to show, as people, where we are in relationships in general.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because men have weaponized their wallets, women have weaponized their sex, and there's a standoff between men and women, and it's like one big race to see who can use who first. Now, I don't agree with none of that crap, because I see what's at that finish line. Mm-hmm. A lot of bitter, angry people that end up, you know, later in life just sad, lonely, depressed, all this crap.
Maybe, do you think the mindset is not that way with women because they're just, oh yeah, you just said it. You did say that. They're just holding back sexually. They're like, I don't even want to give you this anyway, but because I want something from you, I'm begging you for something, I'm just going to do it. Instead of saying, because of the man you are to me, like, I just want to show you my gratitude, and I just want to make you so fulfilled.
That'd be best case scenario.
Right. Like, and you know, so the 5-star restaurant thing is y'all thing, but I think the sex is our thing. To be honest, I think honestly that's what it is. And a lot of times people do think that it is. You got to be good too. I'm just saying that.
But sex is reciprocal. I get what you're saying. You know what I mean? And I really want to get off the topic because it's not what we'll be talking about tonight. I understand what you're saying, but again, sex is very reciprocal because once you put it all on a woman, that may have some power temporary. But if a woman isn't getting pleasure over time, she's going to understand, like, look, I'm not satisfied. You know what I mean? Sex and money is the two biggest things people get divorced and break up about. Right. So sex, like anything else in a relationship, is very reciprocal, man. It has to go two ways. You know what I'm saying? But on its face, I understand what you're saying, you know, and I want to get off that topic because we kind of veered off into a different lane.
Back to the fundamentals, I guess. So, back to what we were saying earlier.
It's almost like, as a matter of fact, I'm going to say one more thing, because even with that mentality, that's to me, a transactional mentality. Like, I can honestly get that from a woman that's selling her body. I can take her out or just give her some bread and she can give me that experience that you said. But my thing is, and I'm only speaking for myself, I can't even speak for all dudes, but my thing is, if I'm engaging in sex with a woman, you know, for the most part, especially in the beginning, I definitely want that thing to be reciprocal. I want it to be both of us putting our best foot forward, because I understand, yo, man, this is make or break. Like, do you understand some women won't even call you back after a whack performance? Like, seriously, do you truly understand, you know, if a woman isn't satisfied in the bed, she tossing you in another category? I wouldn't even take that chance as a man. Especially those first 3-4 times, I'm gonna put that thing like, yeah, because if not, man, you may not get that call back, especially if you like shorty. Hell to the nah. Are you serious?
Women like me, we get more pleasure knowing that you're satisfied more than you actually making us come.
I get that. I mean, but you are in a very small percentile of women is what I'm saying.
If a woman really, 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 truly loves and likes a man, that's her mentality.
I mean, I actually did a video on that. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, over time, if that's the only mentality, if that woman ain't busting no nuts, if that woman ain't getting her pleasure, her fantasies catered to, you're gonna have some issues as well. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm really speaking to the men, and I'm saying, dog, don't even risk that. See, I remember, I'll tell a quick little story. Young Boogie, I was a young soldier in Fort Bliss, and this dude, he was kind of like a big dude, you know what I mean? We're gonna call him Jay. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say his name. We're gonna call him Jay. He had these real bow legs. Something happened to his legs. They had to break his legs to put them back together. It was a crazy thing. Yeah. But the point was, I remember he was on some too cool for school stuff in formation one day. You know what I mean? He was talking to some little chick or whatever. And he was like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even hit shorty, man. I just let her fuck me or whatever. Ooh. And I was like looking at him, and this is a big dude, you know what I'm saying? He gained a lot of weight and shit. And I'm looking at Jay like, bruh, your big ass, yeah, I mean, you know, it was only so much you was gonna be able to do anyway, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at him like, bruh, you capping hard. But he played it off, and I'm like, bruh, you already know she giving up the buns to one of these young Thundercats or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So that was my thing, man. A lot of that type of stuff is it's crazy. I wouldn't even take a chance, me personally. Like, a lot of dudes be on some shit like, oh, I ain't really eating no cat. I'm like, look, if your stroke game ain't at least decent, you better learn how to eat that monkey.
I think a lot of dudes don't even put in the proper investment to get to that point for a woman to feel that way about him. I think they're so eager in getting the sex that they're like, man, I want it right now. Like, I don't even want to do it. I want it. And it's going to be like some subpar stuff. Like, she's not even going to want to feel like she doesn't want to do things to you. She doesn't even have the thought. Like, you're like a stranger.
Well, you got to understand how it works, too. Like, the man's job, right, is to unlock things in a woman. And you unlock these things in a woman from trust and transparency. And as you start to unlock these things in a woman, the woman will become very forthcoming with a lot of things that she's been holding back. And then, you know, over time, a woman will rise to that point. It's not going to happen overnight. I did a video a long time ago. Y'all check the Patreon again. Because a lot of people got their own dating strategy and what they call it. So I call mine the lust and the trust. I'm like, you know, y'all got to be clicking sexually, but at the same time, a woman got to trust you all around as a man.
Right.
When she's with you, she got to feel safe. A woman should feel like a little girl when she's around, you know, the man that she's dealing with. So my thing is just real simple with that type of shit, man, is, you know, the man plays a role in how that woman treats him sexually, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because most women do hold back until they start to feel free and empowered, and they can really trust that man where they can just let loose. And at the end of the day, you know, you can have some magical things.
Right.
You dig?
Right.
So anyway,
I like that.
But straight up. But let's push the conversation forward a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and reset the podcast. Shout out to everybody out there in YouTube land. This is the Nerve You podcast, man. We are live on a Sunday night. All I need from y'all is to come in, hit the like button, hey, enjoy the conversations. You see what I'm saying? And it's up. Look, do women, I said black women, but this is women in particular, do women regret the men that they ignored, and Do all men cheat? I don't know if we're gonna get to the latter. I don't know if we're gonna get to the last part because we really stuck on this, and that's fine. We can always come back to it. But
Okay.
women, okay, me as a man, right?
Uh-huh.
There's women that like me, right?
Right.
And for whatever reason, at that time,
I like you.
I just thank you. What do? As a man, you gotta throw me off a little bit. Hold on, y'all. No, because I had it on the tip of my tongue. Pause.
You did?
So as a man, there are women that was in my orbit, and I didn't necessarily dig them, right?
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, it could have been just most of the time it's just a chemistry thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, hold on really quick. Educated Tyrone, he says C Boogie doesn't cheat. He's purple pill. Can I invite this dude to my nuts, or should I keep going with the show?
Invite him to your nuts.
Hey, dog. Stefan. And we gonna keep him in the chat room. I'm gonna tell you one time, man. Go get a life, dog. Like, miss me with these pills. The only pills I had today was a one a day. You know, I drank a lot of water. You know what I mean? Washed down a lot of water. And I had a little bit of lemonade, too. I was cheating today. I'm on my wellness regimen. Miss me with these pills, man. I don't want no red pill. I don't want no black pill. I don't want no purple pills. Only pills I want is a one a day. Oh, he said purple pill was a good thing. Then I take that back. I don't know.
A purple pill is a red pill man that decided to be in a relationship.
What's wrong with a relationship? What would be wrong with a relationship? Because I make the relationship shit look good in the first place. Yeah, give me some on that.
You do.
What would be wrong with that?
And well, am I right? Am I right, Stefan?
Most dudes don't watch YouTube and naturally get chicks a purple pill.
To my understanding, a purple pill man is a man that is red pill, but he softened up, so it's not red anymore. It went to purple. He's mixed with red and blue. That's why it made purple.
I'm like this. Y'all know what? Y'all want to know what pill I am? There was these pills back in the day. We called them Supermans. You know, back when I was real young. You know what I mean? For the people that was really into the pill life, they know about the Supermans. We don't indulge anymore, but we know what they're about. That's the only pills I really know about, man. I'm kind of done with a lot of that stuff. I'm a grown man, dog. Let me tell y'all something, man. Like, I'm really a grown man, with responsibilities, with, you know, people that I look out for. Just miss me with the pills. That's all I gotta say. I'm really a grown man, dog. I'll be 35 this year, and that's all I'm gonna say. So, as a man, there were women that liked me. For whatever reason, I didn't want them. I don't have a lot of regrets on women that I ignored. Now, there were some women I had to give props. Few girls from high school, right? Yo, and I seen them years later. But again, I don't even put myself in a mindset. I just appreciate where they are now because I see the self-improvement. I don't look at it in a sense of I shouldn't have did nothing at the time. The girl had big Coke bottle glasses and she couldn't keep her ponytail straight. Like, no, this is real talk. But if I see her 10 years later and she thick and she look like an Instagram model, you know what I'm saying, her hair flowing down her back, woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? She got a big, crazy camel toe that look like an avocado that split, like fellas, y'all know the split avocado. At the end of the day, it wasn't for me to like her at that time.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Now, so why would I have a regret? I can just holler at her now. I can appreciate where she at, but to have a regret, I think that's a bit much. And I've had women that were actively pursuing me, like 100. And at the time, the chemistry just wasn't there. So I had to pass. And some women came back in the future, we got along. And then some women, you know what I mean? I seen them later, and I'll be like, oh wow, she's doing really good in life. And I'll leave. That's where I stop. I don't get into the regret of it. The only regrets that I would have is women that I was in a relationship with, and I might have ended it prematurely, or we ended on bad terms. And then I think about it, because you know we live like backwards, right?
Right.
So I'll reflect on the whole situation and be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I jacked this up. And I did this a lot of times in my life, where I look back and I reflected on it like, wow, she was a good woman. Because we don't even know a good woman until we had a toxic woman. That's how life is. I'm sorry.
So you're saying because you made a informed decision to be in a relationship with her, you're, you value you're not thinking about the person that you said, nah, that's not even gonna work in a relationship. So you kind of paid them a favor because you don't even know how you would have treated them if you decided to try on them or take a chance. I say, don't even deal with anybody that you don't even really want, because it's really gonna mess you up in the end.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a fact. Now,
Yeah, don't even do it.
let me put a finer point on that with the wants. You got to make sure your wants are sensible, right? See,
Right.
before I give anybody advice, women or man or whoever, I like to check their mindset to see if they're sensible people first before I even dish out my advice. If I get the sense that a person is not realistic and pragmatic about life in general,
Yeah.
they're not practical anymore. You see what I'm saying? Because we can lose our practicality in life sometimes. If I get that sense, then excuse me, I might give some cookie cutter advice, because I'm not even going to give you tailor-made advice, because I already know no matter what I say, you don't even have a level of contentment. So you always going to make the wrong decision.
Right.
You got to make sure your wants are in the realm of practicality, and your wants should be aligned with who you are too. If what you want is so far out of your jurisdiction as a person,
Not jurisdiction.
no, real talk, and it's almost like a pipe dream, it's not practical anymore. My thing is, good luck with that. I ain't telling nobody don't get what you want, but what I'm saying is, man, you gonna have a lot of heartache out here. But go for it. But everybody has to have a place of contentment too. Because if not, yo man, you're gonna be chasing a ghost your whole life, man.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
Go ahead,
that's
go ahead.
true. What I wanted to go back to the fundamentals portion of the topic.
Go ahead, sure.
What I've learned as a woman is the men that where I lacked in the fundamentals, and I focused on on paper or what society was telling me I should like, I realized like the end result is either a heartbreak or becoming a baby mama.
Are you a baby mother?
No, but I went through the heartbreak.
Oh.
And it was like extreme. So I think when I say baby mom, I'm saying if you wanted the end result to end in a marriage, and life happened and you ended up that way, but what you wanted was more. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of times it is because of the lack of character that person had, or the tools. You didn't have the tools necessary. But even if you did everything right and it was on them and they didn't have the fundamentals, and that's the problem. What if you had the fundamentals but he didn't? And those are the two biggest end endings, kind of like a drug dealer, dead or in jail.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. Um, yeah, it's kind of like that. That's what I've learned.
So, okay, let me make a confession here. You know what I'm saying? Because I just like to keep it a whole brick. A lot of time in my life, you know, a lot of women that I've met or dealt with, they came out of these situations with these quote unquote good on paper guys, high value dudes. You know what I'm saying? This is real talk.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And now you would ask yourself, well, how was her ex-husband an engineer for the, you know what I mean, Army Corps of Engineers and stuff like that, and then she ended up with a guy like me? Well, it's very simple because, you know, she just wanted to live again. You know what I'm saying? She just wanted that feel again. She just wanted to feel alive again. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and you know, a lot of times, you know, when women go through really bad divorces or bad situations with men, regardless of how this do look on paper, you know, they do come to some sense of practicality, and they just understand, like, look, I gotta will it back to the fundamentals. You see what I'm saying? And I've met a lot of women like that, and they wasn't really impressed by much. They just wanted a man to be good to them, and honestly, I don't even see how in 2022 a lot of dudes ain't got 5 women on their arm because it's a lot of lonely women out here.
Mm-hmm.
And truth be told, they just want to be treated good. And I'm like, dog, I don't know. I guess I live in a different reality than a lot of men.
They want it in that package that they are sexually attracted to. They want it in the package that he at least, you know, have to have a really good job. They want it in a specific package, and that's where things are going left.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that has something to do with it too. But like I say, man, I've met a lot of women that really fit that criteria, you know, and I've noticed that that shot group of men went from here, and then after they went through that whatever situation, they went to here,
Yeah.
and then they kind of shrunk down to some practicality, and it was like, wow, you know. And then, you know, I hear the stories of how they used to be, you know, how people talk. I used to be like this, I used to be like that, or whatever, and it was like, wow, I can't even imagine you being like that. But life has a way of dealing with everybody,
Right.
you know. So that's my thing on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I don't personally look at things in the realm of I regret this or I regret that, especially with somebody that I never even dealt with. I think that a lot of men wish women regret men that they ignored, but it might not be a lot of men that they will regret ignoring. It might be a very small percent of men, and that's not even significant to any type of calculations. I think that at the end of the day, you got women like the Sierras of the world. I'm sorry. The only way that she can see the value in a Russell Wilson is if
She experienced it.
she's seen the toxic of a future.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I regretted a man that I deemed as a man that I rejected, let's say anywhere. I don't think I regretted talking to him. I had to experience him on who he is in order for me to like regret picking somebody else over him. Like, I can't just meet somebody and be like, oh my God, I think I'm just gonna reject you, and then pick somebody else, and then, you know, live my life with that person, and then look back at the guy that I met at the dang airport. Like, I'm not gonna think like that. I have to like really experience him, like who he is, you know, how he is with me, what he wanted to offer with me versus the guy that I did choose. Like, I have to put it like side by side. Like, it has to be the same energy I gave the guy that I picked should be almost the same energy as the guy that I quote unquote rejected. Just so I know that I made a good decision, if that makes sense.
I can dig it. I can dig it. So moving on, I think that we ignore people for a reason at the end of the day. Most times it just come down, you're not attracted or the chemistry just ain't that. You can't make yourself be attracted to somebody. I'm sorry. That's something that has to be innate. You can give somebody a chance. You can give somebody an opportunity, you know what I mean? You can give somebody your time, but if that thing ain't there, the thing just ain't there. And you know, I think a lot of people need to just come into an acceptance that, you know what, that just wasn't my time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of get tired of, I want to say the complaining, you know, by women and men. I'm like, look, man, you know, you are who you are. You are where you're supposed to be. Period.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta pick from your lane.
Right. And I hear, I mean, this happened to me growing up. You know, a guy that I probably went to school with or grew up with, you know, he didn't notice me, and then, you know, later on in life he may reach out to me like, oh my God, like, you know, and that's the same thing. Like, you probably wasn't supposed to like me when I was younger and I looked like that, or I didn't grow into the woman that you see me as now. You wasn't supposed to.
Wasn't supposed to.
So I think everybody just wants, at the core of it is, we want love and we want to be accepted no matter who we are and how we are. You know,
I think people.
I wish he, you know, maybe I wish he wanted me when I looked like that or was not, you know, who I was.
See, here's my mentality as a man, and I kind of always rocked out like this. When it comes to me dealing with women, all I ask for is the opportunity. Like, look, give me your time, let me work the rest, because I'm going to do what I do. Now, if I can't get your time, if I can't get your attention, I can't make nothing shake. That's my thing. Give me the opportunity, period. I'm going to do what I do. If I get the number, we hang out, we go on a date, however it go, let me show you I'm him. Or I can show you I'm not him. But if you give me the opportunity, I'm thankful for that, because I got gratitude. Now,
Right.
I'm not on some entitlement stuff like, oh, you know what I mean, she should have picked me. I don't even talk like that. Like, nah. At the end of the day, if I was him, she would have picked me. So,
Right.
you know what I got to do? Especially as a man, I got to go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, what about my life or my circumstances that had me not being him at that time that the woman said, I got to have that. Maybe my stuff wasn't together, whatever the case is. So I understand that I got to go back and I got to get right. I'm going to get back on that horse, and then I'm going to make her see me next time she see me. Look, man, I'm a very relentless dude, man. I'm a go balls to the wall. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, and not for nothing, and I'm completely not in my ego bag right now, but there's not a lot of women in my life that I went after that I ain't get at one point or another. Like, when I lock eyes on something, I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a very, very unorthodox individual. You know what I'm saying? But you did give me something on that. But that's just my thing though. Real talk. Like, I don't look at it like a woman owed me. I look at it like, look, can I talk to you for a second? All I need is an opportunity to show you. Now,
Right.
that's all I'm asking for because I know. I mean, I know that I'm gonna give you something you ain't never experienced, but just give me that opportunity.
Right.
Now, I can't speak for all dudes, or people, but I think if people drop the expectations of other people, that they have for other people, rather, I think if people um, give up on these, false attachments that they have to people, I think if people just get rid of all of that gunk out their mind and just say, you know what, I just want the opportunity for you to know me. See what I'm saying? I just want that opportunity to open up my closet, open up myself, for you to get to know me. I'm gonna let you make the decision.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, to me, that's the ultimate confidence. I don't even have time to run game on you. My game is me.
The C Boogie experience.
The Don game is crucial. You know what I mean? So
yeah, dang. Not a lot of people are thinking like that.
that's my mentality going into stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman don't owe me nothing but human decency. But my thing is with women, I'm you know what I mean, I'm so just laid back with it. I'm like, look, here's the deal. I just want to call you. See what I'm saying? Or let me take you out this weekend. Let me show you a good time. If you don't have a good time, block my number. Matter of fact, give me your phone. I'll block it.
Wow, that's how much confidence. Yeah.
That's how the boogeyman rocking. It don't always come out as smooth as that, cause you know what I mean. But what I'm saying is, a woman don't owe me nothing. I ain't tripping. So even if I approach a woman, I ain't nervous because I understand she don't owe me nothing but this brief little 15 seconds of time. If I can get the woman to stop, if I can get her attention for 15 seconds, I'm on. Boom. Right there.
Right.
I'm clicking. I already know because in her mind, she know I want sex, and she's really looking at me like, well, you know what I mean? I just had a couple other guys try to holler at me. What do you want? I'm on.
Right.
That's my thing. Now, because you gave me that time, I'm gonna make it work. Now, all women ain't gonna give you the time. They're not gonna give you the attention, and that just comes with life. But I think a lot of dudes need to shift their aim and just understand, like, yo, nobody owes you nothing. The world don't owe you nothing. Women, God don't owe you nothing. But at the end of the day, you go out here and stop worrying about the end goal. And this is advice to people in general, man. Stop worrying about the end result because you're missing the power in the now. When you approach a woman, dog, you got to be right now.
Yeah.
You so worried about sleeping with the girl. You so worried about her body count. Dog, you got to be now.
Right.
What you got to say? I'm in the now, man. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
and that's the crazy part about it all because we miss these lovely experiences with people. We miss these exchanges that don't come around often with each other as people, just experiencing one another. No expectations. I ain't putting nothing on it. Look, matter of fact, I got gratitude because I got to know you and I got to learn about myself, and we exchange private things with each other that I'll never expose. And I should be just saying thank you for allowing me to know you. That's my mentality.
Man, that's beautiful.
Now, real talk, because I'm really past the point of me. I'm past the point of sex. Like,
right.
Don't get me wrong. I definitely like it more than the average man. But what I'm saying, that's a fact. But what I'm snap with top fact. But what I'm saying is, I don't even indulge in these conversations in my personal life when I'm talking to my guys. We talking about, you know what I mean, how can we build stuff, or we talking about the ins and outs of relationships. We talking about, appreciate that $20.
I had to send it to you because you're cooking right now.
Well, because I'm like, the best relationships I've had with women is when I wasn't worried about the end goal, and we was in the moment,
Right.
and we trashed these moments.
That's true.
And those women, they never forgot about me. At the end of the day, I wasn't putting on type of wild expectations. And what happened was, when I let off the gas a little bit, because I used to be very intense and stuff like that. When I let off the gas a little bit, and I kind of was more laid back, and I got rid of that whole Sergeant Coates military thing, and I was just boogie again, and I was able to relax a little bit. I was so shocked at what women did for me voluntarily. It wasn't like I was on them with my foot on their neck. You got to do this, you got to do that, da da da. Like, nah, dog. I used to just be me. And because the women felt so good being with me, and that's the part that guys truly forget. When she feels good, she is good.
Right.
It's kind of like that statement.
Right.
A lot of dudes call this statement simping. You know how they say happy wife, happy life?
Mm-hmm.
They be like, oh, you a simp for saying that. Dog, any real player understand you're going to get more from a woman when she feels good. I mean, this it should be human nature. It should be basic psychology. It's kind of like church. They pass around an offering after they do a nice song and it's upbeat.
Right.
Boom, they going to hit you with that offering. People pay when they feel good.
Right.
So my thing is, why wouldn't you want to keep your wife happy? Nobody's saying you got to be a simp. Nobody's saying you got to break. Nobody's saying you got to listen to her. What I'm saying is, why wouldn't you keep a healthy environment? We are happy when we secure. We happy when our environment's healthy. We happy when the refrigerator stops. We happy when our basic needs are met. And see, when people say that statement, oh, happy wife, happy life, they think they saying, oh, this dude should be
serving her.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he
this.
gave up his nuts and his manhood for the woman. That's not what that mean, dog.
Yeah.
No, it's a translation on that thing. You got to understand what a healthy environment really does to people. It's like a kid, man. When a kid is in a healthy household, a good environment, mom, dad, got a backyard, kid got snacks, got his vegetables, they got a playroom. You know how, PlayStation, whatever. You know how happy that kid is opposed to a kid that don't have that? And that's just the environment. Nobody in a household is breaking themselves. They created a system. They created a environment. They created lingo where it's security based, right? Because we fashion our lives based on how secure we are.
Right.
So when a man creates that environment for his family, for his wife in particular, she's going to be happy when she ain't got to worry about, her car breaking down. She's going to be happy when you send that $300 cash app, like, go get your hair, nails, and feet done. Yeah. She's going to be happy when her basic needs are met.
Right.
And so when that's met, you Gucci as a man. Right. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And it puts you both in a exploratory mindset. Like, we can take over the world. Like,
well, when you're happy, you get more creative.
Right.
That's just a psychology fact.
Yeah. Like,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
they did a study on babies. They did that. They put a baby. They had a video, right, and it was babies from age 1 to like 4 or 3, and they had babies that were in that environment, a thriving environment, and they put blocks in front of the baby, and they wanted to see how the babies respond to the blocks. So the babies that were in that environment, they played with the blocks. They were like, creative, trying to play games with the blocks, right? They put like 5 blocks on the table. Now the babies that were in an environment that they were neglected and they were abused and something was incredibly off with them, they looked around in the room in fear with the people that was recording them. Wow. They didn't even pay attention to the blocks. Wow. So it showed, the result of it was it limits their exploratory and curiosity of life. That's
But-
what that was the
well,
bottom line.
well, if you think about it like this, too, Rose. Think about us as humans, where we at, especially in our ages and what we've been through and stuff like that in life. We've been lost that childlike exuberance to bond with people. Like, remember when you was a child and you was just so happy to be friends and you was forthcoming and you was open and it was da 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 da. We really lost that as people, man. So again, we've gotten so self-absorbed, we don't even care about a lot of people's happiness, and
Right.
we don't even care about a lot of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just all on perspective and really how you think about stuff. But you know, even pimps, like even pimps got the term charm and disarm. Like, you don't walk down on no woman and start barking orders at her. Like, nah, you got the charm and disarm, dog. You
Right.
got to make her feel good. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You think a prostitute gonna make any money on the street when she got an attitude?
No.
Nah. A pimp has to provide her basic necessities, right?
Right.
So wouldn't it be a happy prostitute, a happy pimp, but a happy wife, happy life?
Right.
But see, a lot of these dudes, man, I just gotta be 100. You know, I'm just tired of talking about it, but it's just odd to me. A lot of these dudes, man, they really just want control over women. They just need to go in and say it. Because I'm all out of things to really say about it. It's crystal clear to me. I mean, Stevie Wonder can see this stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like, dog, if you just want to control a woman, just say it. There's
Right.
women that's out here that want to be controlled. You still got to make sure her basic needs are met.
Right.
You're never going to get past that part.
That's
So
true.
again, I don't know. You know what I mean? If everything is simping, I'm like, well, how are y'all dudes running y'all relationships? I mean, seriously.
Right.
So it's a lot of cap out here too. You dig? Because look, man, a woman only gonna be so compliant if her needs ain't met. That's just what it is. You're gonna get all kind of erratic behavior.
I added the link to that baby experiment to the chat, by the way. It was really interesting. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
So, you know, that's just where I'm at with that. I think a lot of people truly need to wake up. So anyway, the people that we ignore, right? I'm gonna go back to that one more time. I ain't thinking on that level. I think, but I do think with women, because women take such a big blow and a big hit if they get into a bad relationship because they pay the biggest price. I think women have more regrets than men, particularly younger women, because younger women put a major emphasis on, you know, not the fundamentals. They put the emphasis on looks. They put the emphasis on, you know, money. They put the emphasis on a lot of superficial things
Right.
that don't last the test of time. And as they get older, they might put some value on the fundamentals and the character of a man, but they done been through so much that they'll never truly get over that. It's kind of like, you know, a woman that been battered or something like that. You know, she hit rock bottom. It's like, well, it took that for you to realize maybe I should put some value on character. And it's like, why is it taking women busting their head wide open to really get the point?
You know why? Because there's not a lot of people teaching be a virtuous woman. There's people telling her it's about how you look.
I think you should do it.
I think so too.
Think you qualified?
I think I'm qualified.
Yeah,
I
you
had
can.
the wrong aim. Like, I've always, and I came up with this. I thought about this like this year or last year. I realized that, damn, this whole time I focused on looks, and you know, that was the value of the true value of a woman, and that's what men pay attention to, and that's what they judge a woman on, even giving her a chance. But that, you know, that opens the door, but it doesn't keep him there. And I had the wrong aim. My aim was off. The aim was becoming being a virtuous woman. because that's what keeps anybody around you. And I started thinking about it, and I realized that whenever I saw like an older lady and she came into a room and you could see the adoration in everybody, that was a high value woman. That to me, because of that love and respect that she got from everybody in the room, like, oh my God, men loved her, women loved her, men respected her, women respected her. Like that auntie, like your favorite auntie or your grandmother, that's a high value woman. It's her virtue. Yeah, it's really her virtue. And if she doesn't assess her virtues, like patience, kindness, all of those, there's a list. If she doesn't figure all of that out, then how is she gonna know what to look for and like the characteristics in a man? So because she's not getting taught that, she's looking at, okay, I look good, he better have money. That's the automatic thing that we're thinking about. Okay, I look good, check, I'm looking for the money. She's not even looking at herself as, am I a virtuous woman?
Well, check this out. And I understand everything you're saying, and I agree. The first step of being righteous and virtuous and all this is you first doing it for you. You see what I'm saying? It's not for society. It's not for, anybody else. You're doing it for the peace and tranquility of yourself, being virtuous. And then once you accept that in your heart, it'll start to spread to other people. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people too busy trying to find love instead of being love, because your heart going to attract whatever belongs to it. So if you got love in your heart, then boom, you're going to attract that. Now, if you got confusion, fear, hate, disdain in your heart, what you think you're going to attract?
All of that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a fact. So I think a lot of people really, really need to realize that a lot of this stuff is on you. Like, you are what you attract. And we want to run away from that. A lot of people say opposites. Like, we gonna close this, people. We gonna close down. We close it up. A lot of people say opposites attract. I disagree. You attract whatever's in your heart. Period, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what's gonna come to you. This is what's gonna orbit you. If you got dysfunction in your heart, you got clutter in your mind, that's what you're gonna attract. If you got peace, if you got love, if you got tranquility, if you got a unitive mindset, that's what you're gonna attract. And
energy attract.
Yeah, that's a fact. So, I understand the thing with the looks and this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? But that's more, sexual. But I'm talking about something substantial. The heart attracts whatever belongs to it. So people got to change who they are. And how you going to want a virtuous woman and you're not a righteous man? How you going to want a righteous man and you're not a virtuous woman? The hard part is changing yourself. The hard part is Boogie changing himself into a righteous man to attract a virtuous woman. God is going to send me the wife that I deserve, period. And this go for all the men and women. God going to send you the husband that you deserve based on who you are.
The true person you are.
The true person you are when
to the core. Yeah.
when you walk into your truth. So it's like, what everybody running for? You got to change yourself first. You change yourself, you'll see what comes in your orbit. It's just that simple. So anyway, man, we went for a nice little time. This was a nice podcast tonight.
I love it. Yeah, I
Excuse me. So, hey man, we live. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the Dime Game Division. This is the Nerve of You podcast, man. We'll be right back on Tuesday. This was one of my probably favorite episodes, man. And I really, really appreciate y'all for joining us. So I'll be right back on Tuesday night, same time, same place, same co-host. Y'all be cool. Follow me on Instagram at Dime Game Division, man. And Yo, what's up?